dog's okay. We are live. TJ, let's call TJ. You forgot to call her.
Hello, Facebook. How are we all doing?
We are doing great here. Tonight is going to be an exciting topic. TJ, are you with us?
I am with you. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. It's so nice to hear your voice.
And yours too.
Hey, TJ. How are you doing?
I am great, Conroy. How are you?
I'm amazing. Long time no speak.
Yeah.
Definitely. How has your summer holidays been?
It's
Amazing.
been
Very
amazing.
busy. Very busy. Who have we got online? I need to rotate my phone. Let's rotate so I can get to read the comments. Can you get in as well?
Yeah,
It's
fine.
always lovely to hear your voices and to get chatting to you. So tell me, what is tonight all about?
Tonight, TJ, is all about new beginnings. And I thought it was pretty apt because September, for me, for the business, typically for, how we are and what we do, September starts and marks the start of a new academic year. So I've been in teaching all my life and, the business now rolls in line with academic years. So September's a great start for new beginnings for me personally, and the business. So yeah, September, it's all about new beginnings, starting a new venture or project or hobby, or looking to start a new job, or perhaps you're facing unexpected change. Perhaps your little ones have gone to school for the first time. And I know this time last year, we were in the position where, our little boy was starting school and leaving nursery. And then you've also got other people, TJ, that, perhaps they're leaving home to go to uni or to go to a new job, and you've got children fleeing the nest and you just don't know what to do. You just don't know how to cope with it. And last month's Facebook Live, which was all about how people cope with change and coping with change, the two kind of go hand in hand. Today, looking at new beginnings. That's what it's all about, TJ.
Exciting, really exciting. I know my son has just started a new school, and although very anxious, it's also exciting. And it sounds like you've got loads of exciting stuff starting for you. So that is great.
We even have new premises, TJ.
Woo!
We are moving. We're keeping our current site, but we're also getting an additional site for... Come off Facebook, come on, go to the phone. So we're having premises for the whole other aspects of the business.
So would you say that's new beginnings for Reactiv8 as
It's
well?
definitely new beginnings for
New
Reactiv8.
staff starting the team. So it's exciting times.
We're expanding into new areas. We've got a new team on board. We've got a brand new education team, and we did an amazing staff training on Monday. And I know the feedback from our staff. One of our staff the next day, he came in and said to myself and Conroy, "Wow," he goes, "it was great having a break, the 6-week summer off. But I've come back and that staff training really did something for me. It really motivated me, inspired me, and rejuvenated me." He's super excited about the start of the year, and we had a guest speaker, Lowell. I don't know if she's watching tonight, but if you are, hi Lowell. And she came in and did a bit on teams and how to get the most out of your team using the old forming, storming, norming, performing model.
With a twist.
With a twist, using the hurricane as an analogy, which I thought was a brilliant analogy. But it was a really good staff training session. I loved having the team together. And it is a new beginning. So September marks a new beginning for us, not just January, which is typically most people's new beginnings. We've got Lee, Anne watching, Denise, hiya. We've got a few. I want to say hello to all the viewers watching tonight. And, share tonight what new beginning do you have? What are you facing right now in your life? Is it a new move on? Some of our ladies are moving on.
Is it exciting times, or you're a bit fearful for these new ventures you're about to start? So tonight is all about helping you guys to cope with these new beginnings and some strategy and tips.
Rejuvenate.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Nicole.
Rejuvenate, and the evening was a great team training session. So yeah, it's about how you feel about new beginnings and change, isn't it? And how to cope with that.
Kieran's just joined us as well. Hello, Kieran.
Oh, Kieran, hi. Thank you. Just getting back from holiday, back into the swing of things. Denise is saying, getting my children back and having a job and living in my new home. Woohoo! That's
congratulations.
A huge congratulations to you, Denise. And yeah, what a great outcome. What a great positive move on for you. And wishing you all the success, happiness, love, wealth in abundance in your new journey with your children. So big hearts. If I could just heart it out there.
Put the hands together.
Hands.
There you go.
Oh. That heart.
Just start your new beginnings whenever you want, and just give it a go, can you? Just anytime.
Anytime, just take that leap of faith. But some of the common reasons for not wanting to make those changes are the potential risks involved, the impact on others, not knowing where to start so you don't start, fear of failure, lack of free time, or it seems just like too much time and effort. And there's also safety and comfort in keeping things the same. People don't typically like change. And people are happy to stay comfortable in the same thing, even if it means their growth is stagnated.
Why do you think people are like that?
Or they stay in that situation even if it's not good for them. You know, how many people have dreaded going back to work this year, particularly those in the education industry? We were with some good friends over the summer. One is a head teacher, one's a PE teacher. And we were like, are you excited going back to work? And it's like, oh no, not really. Couldn't wait to get back to work.
I was on holiday and I couldn't wait to get back to start. So I just get excited for things. And I guess that kind of oozing what we do. That we're just super excited about every part of what we do as for work, and just generally we are just excitable people.
Yeah.
Would you say if you weren't excited to get back to work, to go back to what you've known and you should be doing, do you think maybe it's time to looking for something else, or do you think they should just change their attitude and get on with it?
Change the way they think about their current situation. If you are generally not happy with your current situation, you've got to take that leap of faith, because do you know what? You don't have to worry about the how or what is going to happen. You just have to take that leap of faith in order to allow the universe to, give some space to allow the universe to allow what's right in. And you're probably thinking I'm talking a load of alienated words here. You know, what do you mean by the universe opening up and allowing that space?
I can kind of explain that. That's kind of faith, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's trusting and believing that whenever you want to make something happen for you, you just have to trust that things will happen along the way to make that goal happen. And, if you look at the successful people in the world, they will tell you the same thing. They all have the same belief in common, that they just trust that the solutions will come when they take that first step. And I think with a lot of people, this is why a lot of people don't take the first step, because they can't connect the dots in the middle, and they stress about it, or they think about, how am I going to make this happen? When our job is not to worry about the middle part. Take the first step and the rest will follow.
Yeah, and people don't do it because of the risks involved. And Kieran, you're saying you've changed your current situation at work and you are so happy. Why didn't I do it earlier?
Well done.
Well done, Kieran, for making that change. And because happiness, there are so many people who go to job unhappy, go to their place of work unhappy. Get out of that workplace if you are unhappy. I don't want anyone who's unhappy at Reactiv8 to be at Reactiv8. It's time to move on and say, do you know what, I've done my time. I'd hope in an organisation like ours we wouldn't have that. That we promote, the opportunity for people to speak and have their word and so on. But I want happy people. Happy people mean you're working with happy, you can help other people become happy. So yeah, a new beginning. Sorry, TJ.
Sometimes though, people find it very hard though, because they're thinking, but how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to, how will the kids, what will I do with the kids if I go and take that new job, or if I move places? and it's that worrying all the time, and because we've been in such an unpredictable time and things are all going up, people are feeling quite unsure. So I suppose that lots of people are quite scared of taking that first step.
It is, and that scare, that fear, the fear of not being able to pay your bills, the fear of it going wrong, the fear of the job not working out. So guess what? I'm secure, I'm safe, I'm comfortable, although I might not be happy, it's paying the bills and it's doing what it needs to do. When actually you could live a much more fulfilled, happier life if you were doing something that you love and you're passionate about.
Yeah,
But
it's hard sometimes, though, but you recommend that just go for it. Try that new beginning.
Absolutely. Fighting. Sorry.
I've tried lots of new beginnings and still keep getting the same problems and the same mistakes. Why is that? Because I've had lots of new beginnings.
So what kind of mistakes? Because, okay, we're, learning from those mistakes. When you make a mistake, learn from it. What mistakes are being repeated? If you keep repeating a mistake, you still need to learn that lesson, don't you?
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, some people say that no matter where they move to a new beginning, a new home to get themselves out of trouble, maybe drugs or getting in crowds with the wrong people, or even your children in with the wrong people. And people keep moving on and getting a new beginning, but still having the same problem over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is because your vibe attracts your tribe. No matter, people think if I move to a different town, I'll be okay. If I had a different job, I'll be okay. If we have children, it will be okay. But
if I get married, it'll be okay. If I get divorced, it'll be okay. If I get a boyfriend, it'll be okay.
And so on. And they looked at all of the external things to change their own internal happiness. But happiness is an inside job. I've actually got a book out on Amazon, and I feature in this book a whole chapter on why happiness is an inside job. So feel free to check that out. I'm sure Conroy will put the link to that. But it's the wise words with Cheryl Chapman. So look that up on Amazon. But there's a whole chapter just on happiness is an inside job. But you've got to work on yourself first and not think the external things. If I change the external things, I'm going to feel better. You'll only feel better temporarily until that job is not satisfying anymore, or you're still unhappy. But you're still unhappy because you haven't addressed the issues inside of you. You just look to the external things to make you happy or to make you feel better, but it's only temporarily.
That makes sense. Definitely.
Yeah.
So what tips have you got for us tonight, Michelle?
I've got like 5 kind of tips on new beginnings and how to deal with new beginnings, because around new beginnings, although you've got new starts, it could mean grief as well. So it's a fine line between that new challenge, new beginning, and dealing with grief. So the grief of losing your child to university or to a new school where they're an hour away or whatever it is that may be, graduating and whatever it may be. But 5 ways to deal with the grief of new beginnings, because some people can't get to grips with that new change. And the first thing is tip number 1 is practice acceptance. Fighting with reality is doing nothing to change your reality, and it just depletes your emotional resources. It just makes you feel rubbish. Imagine what you could do if you stopped struggling to change something that you have no control over. Because most people are fighting the things they have no control over.
Is that going back to faith then? Does that coincide with faith?
It's coming back to a place of acceptance and accepting where we're at. There's nothing that we can do to change our current situation if it's beyond our control. The biggest power we have is how we choose to respond to those changes that are coming our way. We might not like some of those changes, and it might feel like grief for some of the viewers. When you leave a new job, people stay in a workplace for fear of moving into something new. And when you leave a workplace, you are grieving. So although new beginnings, there's a fine line with new beginnings and grief here.
So I see that Nicole, good evening Nicole, happy birthday for the other day.
Yeah.
I can see she put down a fear of being self-employed. There are lots of people that worry about that one, isn't there?
Absolutely, especially in COVID, and you know, the fear of being self-employed versus being employed. You know, the employment status gives a what's the word? An illusion of security, because at the end of the day, any employer can get rid of you with notice.
Yeah, and they do now, really quickly.
They do. Some people are just paid off garden leave, whatever. You know, there is no security. It's an illusion. It's disillusional, isn't it? You know, to have security from employment, from being employed. But society teaches you that if you get a job, you know, go to school, get your qualifications, get your job, earn some money, and just go through society on that treadmill of life. And, you know, a job, you know, is that the right thing for you? And taking that leap of faith to become self-employed might be the best thing for you. Or a business owner, become a limited company. And Llewellyn is saying, you know, the lack of certainty is scary, and that's one of our 5 human needs, is the need for certainty. And those people whose need for certainty is high up on their agenda, they will be the ones who are more risk averse and won't take that risk. And that's why people don't start new beginnings, because of fear of, you know, the risks involved, or the impact, or for fear of failure, but primarily for the risks involved. Tip number 2, TJ, is about remembering the good times. When there's a new beginning, it often means the end of something, doesn't it? Which is why there's that grief process. So a new beginning will often mean the end of something. And it's hard to come to terms with some of our phases of lives ending, whether it's that child going off to university, your child going to school for the first time, a new job, new people, starting a new course, and you're walking into something that's unknown. You know, relationships, it can be painful to say goodbye to relationships, or old habits that no longer serve us. And you have that grieving process. You know, it's hard to leave behind old co-workers, or it might be hard to learn to do something new. And one way to make that transition with tip number 2 is just remember the good times and the lessons you learned from those old routines, and help take those forward with you. Remind yourself that there are good times in the future too. So that's my tip number 2, remember the good times.
You might get there in that good times, you might be like Kieran, who said, you know, why didn't she do it sooner? What has she been waiting for?
Absolutely.
It's all good now.
Absolutely. I've had conversations with Kieran over 10 years ago where she's been so unhappy. I don't know if I should publicly say this, but she dreaded, Kieran, back me up on this, let's have this conversation, let's interact, but you dreaded going to work on Monday. You used to call it the Monday blues. I think you had them on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well.
Oh, no.
But she did. And some people, you know, on a Sunday night get that feeling of anxiety, that feeling of sickness in their tummy, because they just don't want to go to work the next day. And that is alarm bells ringing. That's your body telling you something is not right. Mm-hmm. This is no longer serving you in a healthy way. But we choose to stay because we're scared of taking risks. We're scared of what, you know, we don't know what the future is. We're scared of the unknown. Fear holds us back from making decisions. And Llewellyn is saying, oh, yes.
And there are millions of people out there that have that Monday blue feeling, which is a really scary thought when you think, in actual fact, we spend more time at work if we work full time, more time at work than we do at home, because when we're at home, most of it, we're asleep. And that's a scary thought, that you're on that happy for most of your waking day.
It is. So if you're one of those people, one of the viewers watching tonight, and you absolutely have that fear of dread in your stomach, anxiety kicking in, and that feelings of sickly, moments of going into your place of work, then do the right thing for you and your body and find something new. Just take that leap of faith and hand your notice in, because I tell you, when you do that, the universe will open up ways and opportunities for you will come flooding in, of good things that you're going to be excited about. Are you in? So, yeah.
And it is important to have that exciting feeling and make it feel that it's all worth it. Otherwise, what is the point? If you go to work all day, you're miserable all day, you come home and you'll probably take it out on everyone else because you're feeling you've had a horrible day, and then you're dreading going in tomorrow. You're just not living the life you want, are you? And we're a long time dead.
Absolutely. And Llewellyn is saying it's your higher self telling you this is not your path, which is right. Are you coming back in? Yeah? So, yeah, it is. It is your higher self telling you this is not your path. Conway, what's your view on that?
And there is lots of new beginnings that we all desperately want, and we've just got to be brave enough to go and do it, really, haven't we?
What was your view, Conway, on it's your higher self telling you this is not your path?
Oh, 100%. We agree with you, Lowell. And I'm waiting for you to tell me you've taken that leap of faith.
Nicole says, yes, it does work when you make your mind up. Opportunities do open up.
They do, in some miraculous way, because you've suddenly let go. You've let go of the toxic, and it opens up. Oh, she has.
Wow. Amazing. How are you feeling? Lowell, share your story, because I think...
Can we bring her on camera? Can we bring you on camera, Lowell? So just a little bit about Lowell, TJ, because I know you've not met her, but she came and did some staff training. She had a bit on team working, and then she stayed a bit longer and listened to some of the stuff we were delivering. And following that, she left a voicemail message on our phone, and we listened to it late last night, gave her a call, and she said, actually, being in that staff training inspired me to want to just take that leap of faith. And now she's saying live on this, I have. Yes, you can come on camera. Come onto camera then. How do we get you on camera? Click your thing so I can put come on camera. Can we bring her on? Add a friend. So come on to camera, Lowell, if you can. Here we go. Wants to join you. Brilliant. Let's bring you on. Approve. Send invite. We're adding you, Lowell. Oh, connection failed. Let's try again.
Oh, no.
Let's try again. I'll try and bring her on camera.
It's quite an inspirational story, Lowell. I think you can help a lot of our viewers tonight and those who are going to be watching. And
I'm really excited to hear about it now. I'm sitting here in anticipation.
Here, I can't get her on. Oh, it's such a shame. If not, just type away, Lowell. But if you can try getting back on camera, that would be great. What else? Think about the process. Another tip, think about the process, not the outcome. And sometimes it's hard to focus on the process of doing something when you're so focused on the outcome. If you're thinking about making a change, try to remember the process, enjoy that process instead of just the outcome. So enjoy that journey and come to that place of acceptance.
so would you say then people find this is where a lot of people they stop themselves, because that middle bit is meant to be where they enjoy that whole journey to get to where they want to get to, from the lessons they're going to learn to the successes, the little successes along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But that bit in the middle, they forget about it because of that fear factor of actually taking that first step. They're missing that bit in the middle where they're going to enjoy that whole process to get to that goal.
It does, because it's so tempting to rush into something new, but taking the time to enjoy that process gives you the chance to enjoy the here and now and be present, instead of what you think your future is going to be like. Does that make sense?
Sorry.
It is hard sometimes though, because you're always looking, thinking what I can do in the future, and if I do this, this, and this now, I'll get to there. But sometimes you never get to there, and you miss out on the now, and then you think, oh, I wish I had just got on with life right here and now, and just treated every day as it came. And I know that since once I got ill, I realised that life is so short. I don't know, you know, I could be here until I'm 110, or I could only be here for the rest of the day. And now I think I need to have fun today. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to have fun and love every minute of it, because I can't guarantee tomorrow will always be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And being fully present, isn't it, TJ? That's really important.
Definitely, most definitely.
And tip number 5 is, or tip number 4, are we on? Tip number 4 is forgiving yourself. You know, we're so hard on ourselves. Have you ever beaten yourself up over a decision you've made? You know, a lot of the time we're harder on ourselves than we are on anyone else. And that pressure can become exhausting, tiring, burnout. And, you know, feeling anxious or upset at the idea of a new start isn't something to be ashamed of. It is human. It's deeply human. We fear what we don't know. We fear what we don't understand. So the idea of the unknown can be scary, and that's normal. But on the flip side, it's also okay if you're super excited for your new start, that you're eager to leave the past behind. You don't have to apologize for being ready for something new, even if it means making changes. What you had in the past isn't necessarily better than what you're working towards now. It's just different, and it's just unknown. So it may feel frightening, but offer yourself some compassion and offer yourself some forgiveness. And my last tip is talk to a therapist, a grief therapist, because with new changes, like I said, it often means letting go of the old, and letting go of the old may be the same experience as grief.
Or talk to Michelle.
Or talk to someone, me, Conroy, anyone at Reactiv8, and come and get some help with us on a one-to-one.
Well, one of our staff said yesterday he just needs 15 minutes of our time.
He did. So I wish we could say his name, but one of the members of staff, when he came, I started telling you about, when he came back after staff training, the next day he pulled me into the cupboard, not, you know, he was talking in the cupboard, and he just said, you know, you just made me realise I need to just take the leap of faith and get to do the things I want to do. And he said, I went back and spoke to my girlfriend and chatted to her, and I was buzzing. And he said, the 6 weeks has done me a load of good, being, you know, taking time away. And then he said, I just need 10, 15 minutes of you, both of us, just to reinvigorate and rejuvenate. I just need 10 minutes a day of you, and then my day will be filled up. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice feedback. But Luelle has written her bit. Should we have a read?
Yes.
She says, I took the leap of faith for an opportunity. I did it by saying no to the first opportunity that came along. It was a safe option. I decided to wait on the one that was right and put my everything into that. Now I'm trusting the universe to reveal the right path for me. I also attracted brilliant advice from friends and strangers. I can't share details right now, but watch this space. New beginnings, baby. There you go.
Absolutely amazing.
Exciting times, Luelle.
Yeah, it is exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing what happens next.
Yeah, part 2 next week, Luelle. But yeah.
Have you got any questions, TJ?
Hey, Jamie. Hey, if someone's unsure of how that new beginning is going to be, how do they first start thinking, right, I'm going to have to leave my safe environment now that I'm not happy with? How do they go about it, knowing that they're going to, you know, rush into that new exciting thing and know it's going to be right? Especially so if you're leaving a safe job and maybe going self-employed, for example.
Mm-hmm.
How should they make some plans, or just jump feet first?
It's good to make plans, isn't it? But it's, you know, if something is no longer serving you, and you need to give that thing up. But then people think, well, I can't give that up until I have something else. Sometimes you have to be able to give something up in order to open and make room for something else, and trust and have faith that the right thing will happen. Yeah, Nicole, trust in the universe. And change is hard, even when it's really good for us. Even the good changes are hard. Even, they're hard. But change is good. It's natural. It's normal. It's part of life. It is good for us. Without change, we stagnate. We don't grow. We become complacent. We get bored. We do not have the tension and conflict we need to become who we were always meant to be in this life.
And
scary.
And we all have a gift. We all have a talent and great potential, and we all have a book inside of us. We all have desires of things that we'd hope to achieve and do. And so many people put their dreams on hold or never really live out the things that they really want to do. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to really go and do those things that you've always wanted to do. Look at setting up a business plan. Look at, read onto things that you want, you want to go and try that new venture. This is the time to do that.
That makes it all sound really exciting. Yeah, let's start planning. Let's get going on it. I like it, and I think anyone that isn't happy should do that. Start those new beginnings today. There's no reason why you couldn't start right now. It's done.
Absolutely not. And, without the possibility of change, even the greatest gifts in our lives lose their luster, lose their appeal, because we take them for granted, thinking they'll never go away, they'll never leave us, they'll never this. So without that possibility of change, the greatest gifts in our lives lose that luster, because we get to take those situations, people, jobs, whatever, for granted, thinking they'll never go away, when actually you can have your feet swept under you when you do lose that job that you think is secure. You do lose that relationship. You think that person's never going to leave me. So yeah, change is always possible. Change is possible. And there's a saying here from Pittman McGee. He says, rebirth and change are necessary to our lives. And the clinical definition of death is cessation of change. If one is not changing, one is dying. And I think that's very powerful.
Absolutely.
Rebirth and change are necessary for our lives. And the clinical definition of death is cessation of change. Because if one is not changing, one is dying. And, we want to live our lives full, right? We want to live full and die empty.
So you saying we should embrace change.
Embracing change.
Enjoying the journey.
Yeah. And it's normal to feel anxious. It's normal to feel scared. It's normal to feel, have all those...
all the negative feelings.
It's normal.
But it's just recognizing it and then replacing it. Understand that it's part of the journey and embracing it. Recognize the feeling, switch it up, feel positive about it, and watch things will start to change in a positive way.
Absolutely. And, a thing to remember about new beginnings, first remember the feeling you are starting with nothing is not true. You are starting with you. The very most important thing you could have, and that's all you need to begin with, is you. You are the most important thing to make that change. So you're not starting with nothing, you're starting with you. And just an affirmation to help you is saying things like, I have everything I need to begin. I have everything I need to make that leap of faith. I have everything I need to make that first step. And second, it is
very powerful.
And while you can acknowledge the feeling like you don't know where to begin, it might help to remind yourself that nobody knows where to begin when they're starting something new. Otherwise, it wouldn't be new.
Exactly.
It might seem everyone else in your life has incredible clarity about their purpose, their
they
plans, their intended outcomes.
They don't.
While you're just floundering around just trying to get off the couch, But that's not the case. I talk to people who are the most confident people, the most accomplished people, effective, happy people. And nobody knows what to do, what is to come, what they're going to do. We're just all doing our best, feeling around in the dark, aren't we? But there are ways to gain more clarity. But know that you have everything you need to begin.
I think that was all really powerful. I was just thinking that like what those bits that you just said gave that quote. That's why people say like, "Oh, I'm dying under paperwork," and everything else, because you literally are, aren't you? You're not living your life anymore. You are literally killing yourself off. God, that is really quite cool, yeah.
And the next one, you know, the people say, "I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin."
Start where you are.
You know, if you say these three things, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can.
Yeah.
That's all. You can't start anywhere else but where you are. You could spend a lot of time wishing you were somebody else.
Wishing you
so you
somewhere
could start
else.
from where you were starting from. But that would just make you feel badly about yourself because you're comparing, and comparison, we know, kills happiness. But the only place to start is where you are, and then it makes beginning really easy. Use what you have. You have resources at your fingertips. We all do. We could spend a long time dwelling on the fact that somebody else has more resources than we do.
But they also say, scientifically proven, when you say you can't do something, your brain actually shuts down for any solutions or possibilities of this thing happening. So when you say you can do something, it then opens up to all the solutions, because the solutions are more or less sometimes right in front of us. But because we've trained our brain to see things in a negative light, that we never really see the possibilities that's right in front of us. But it's changing that self-talk, changing the languages that we use to enable us to be able to see things that is already there. Everything that we need is just in reach. We just think it's further away. We think it's further away from us when it's actually not.
And the most truly successful people I know in this life do not waste time complaining that they don't have resources. They simply use what they do have and they just get on with it. And the last one, do what you can. So start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. The main reasons why we experience so much disappointment in our lives and we burn out before we reach our goals is because we expect way too much of ourselves. We have these crazy ideas about what we can accomplish, and then we wonder why we feel like losers when we can't do it all. We want the perfect house, the killer career, the obedient children, the loving marriage, the fulfilling sex life. Who has that? Who has it all? Anyone you know? And all you can do is all you can do. Stop beating yourself up for being human. You're not a superhero. And we just expect and place too much pressure on ourselves.
We don't even sometimes look at all of the wonderful things we do have. We're too busy worrying about what we don't have, aren't we?
Yes, and that's the problem. We all focus on what we don't have as opposed to what we do have and being grateful for what we do have.
And Conroy was quite right. You know, often we're telling it ourselves that we can't do this. But I know that I've changed that. And, you know, when you're trying to do something, you're going, come on, you can do this to yourself. And then all of a sudden you can do it. And you're thinking, wow, there you go. I did it. When you thought you couldn't, you can.
Absolutely.
And for me, that's trial and errors. You know, I've realized in the last 8-9 years that, you know, the conversations I have with myself are the most powerfulest ones. You know, I'm the one that determines if I can do something or not, just by the languages I use, you know, and it makes things so much more clearer when you have a positive mindset. And funny enough, I'm just reading this book right here, if anyone can see it. And it says The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And this book is absolutely incredible. You know, having a positive mindset is a full-time job, because as human beings, we're programmed to see things in a negative light. We're programmed to look at things where the glass is half empty, whereas it's completely alien to think of things in a positive light. And it's a full-time job to do that. But we all have the power to do it. That's the beauty of this, you know, the life we have. We all have the power to see things differently. You know, we're the only species in the world that's been given a mind. to think and make decisions for ourselves. So we should choose to see things in a positive way.
Absolutely. But you're right in the programming, because like you look at the news, we have very little good news in the papers or on the TV, and everyone loves a good moan. That's not looking at any of the good stuff, is it?
No.
Yeah. It's just another way of conditioning, isn't it? It's another way of programming. And this is the thing, that 1% of people who have learned the power and the secret of life, thousands of years ago, they understood if you're able to control the mind of the masses, you have power. And if you look at all the top successful people, what do they want to own? They want to own the newspaper. They want to own the radio stations. They want to own the media channels, because they know if you control those narratives, you control how people see things. And that's why it's so important for us as people to be able to understand that we have the power. We are the one controlling our future. And just by changing our way of thinking, you can structure your life however you want it. No matter how much that 10% outside and how chaotic the world may be that we may see it, we can have a very happy life inside.
Yeah, we can. Definitely we can. If we see it in that more positive way, it makes a whole difference to your life. It's amazing how different it makes to your life.
But change, change is inevitable, and it's about embracing that change. And like I said, change is not easy. It is slow, it's steady, it's arduous, it could be painful, but real change, inside change, is lasting. And there's things that people worry about that are beyond their control, that they, it's trying to control the uncontrollables. But just remember, no matter where you go in life, no matter what you have or what you don't have, what can never be taken from you is who you are becoming. And whatever, no matter what happens to you, what you have left at the end of the day is the person that you are becoming. And
that's powerful.
That's powerful, because nobody can change that. And change is inevitable, but how we cope with it makes all the difference.
And you can be whoever you want to be. You can change at any time, can you?
Absolutely. Anytime, you can decide tonight, TJ, that you want to change the person you're becoming. And just by saying that affirmation, you've started that process. We spoke to Lola last night, and she's made that decision today. So change can happen like this. If people are ready to receive it and people are ready to embrace that change. We are in control. We are the drivers. We're the masters.
It's how you respond to that change, isn't it?
So the people that go, oh, I am who I am, you can't change, you can't teach new tricks to an old dog.
And guess what? Guess what, TJ? They will stay as they are. Because that's what it is. Whatever you tell yourself, that's the result you're going to have. If you think you can't change, there's no one's going to change it, because you've told yourself it. You've cemented that preconceived idea that you can't change. So it's going back to that language again, the way we talk to ourselves. If you even just by saying that, I cannot change, no matter what anyone says to you, you've already cemented the idea in your brain that you can't change. So how are you going to change? But if you say, I can change, I just don't know how to yet, but I'm open for ideas. That's a different way of talking. Now you're receiving that. Now you want to receive these new ideas and these new things. So again, it's all about the languages that we use. And it's about changing that. Once you've changed that and once you understand it and you start applying these principles to your life, watch your words start to shift. It's like, I remember when it first happened for me, it was 8 years ago when I met this amazing lady who taught me about this stuff. And I like to research and I like to read, and I'm always trying to develop myself. I remember just that whole brain just shift. It's like I saw the world in a completely different place. I used to hate the place I lived, and now I absolutely love the place, because at the end of the day, it's how I was looking at things. So once you change that mindset, once you change and understand the power of the brain, you control things around you.
That's really cool. And it's understanding we really do have that control, isn't it?
We do.
We do.
We do.
When you master your mind, you master your world. And that's powerful. But change is inevitable. But just know that start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can, and know that you have everything you need to begin that new journey.
Absolutely.
Whatever that journey may be. And that's it, really. That's it from me, TJ.
And me as well, TJ. Unless you have anything else you want to share.
No, I just, apart from, for everyone, you can have whatever new beginnings we want, can't we? We just need to tell ourselves and then put that plan in place and go for it.
Absolutely.
Listening to you guys, we know we can do it, and we've got you there behind us. We can contact you through Facebook, email, or Instagram or LinkedIn, any of them, and we will be able to get someone to help us, won't we?
Absolutely. And just on that note, before we disappear off, for those people who are local or you even want to travel to this amazing event, we've got our first networking and stakeholder event. We've got a guest speaker. We've got myself and Conroy for 30 minutes of doing a bit of motivational talk about how to use the law of attraction to live your best life. So that is on Thursday, the 13th of October. If you're interested in coming, there'll be a free continental breakfast, and it's 9:30 for a 10 o'clock start. A great way to start your day, to say to your boss, look, I think I need to get to this event. I need to network with some like-minded people. So Thursday, the 13th of October, 9:30 for a 10 o'clock start till 12:30. An opportunity to mingle, rub some shoulders with other people, other amazing people. And hear a guest speaker that we're just keeping a little bit quiet right now. So that is
exciting.
Thursday, the 13th of October. Put that date in your diary
And it's
now.
all free, guys.
Free networking,
breakfast.
free breakfast.
And just to be motivated and to be inspired, it's all free.
It is. And that is 9:30 till 12:30 on that morning. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you there. Invites will be going out. If you want an invite to come to that, just put it in the message in the comments, and we'll make sure if you put your email address or private message us, we'll make sure you get an invite sent to your email, because it is invitation only. So make sure you get those invites, send your email addresses, and spread the word. Come and get motivated. Convince your boss you're going to actually be more productive for their business.
And if you don't have a boss, come anyway. Tell your friends.
Own boss.
If you're your own boss, come and just mingle with new people and like-minded people. There's a great saying that says, if you want to be a carpenter, hang around carpenters. If you want to be a lawyer, get yourself in a courthouse. Whatever you want to be, try and be in that environment, because it's called involve to evolve. Surround yourself with people who are going to help you to get to where you want to get to. And if you think like this, you'll be first on your way. So get yourself to this event. We'll be there.
And come and meet us in person.
Absolutely.
It'd be great.
If you haven't.
So that's it.
That sounds like awesome advice from you both, and a great event for everyone to get to. I definitely want to be there. I am definitely going to be getting my invite.
Put your
bring your children, TJ. Bring your children along.
Get them out of school for the day.
They are entrepreneurs now in the making. So let's get them there. Let's get them this message, young, so they can live that fruitful life that they deserve.
Yeah, definitely. I will bring them.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Thank you, TJ, for your time. Thank you to Conroy.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, TJ,
and
the viewers.
Thank you to the viewers who've joined us tonight.
And those who are, watching later on, thank you as well. And yeah, thumbs up, send us a like, and follow us on Facebook.
And lots of hearts.
Thank you. Bye.